My name is Brian Jones. I'm part of the Business Development Analytics team here with Miller Coors. I want to welcome you to the interview today. We really just hope to find out a little bit more about you and as well as share who we are personally and professionally and what motivates us to be the best beer company that we can be. So I really like to try to have a casual interview environment. I want anyone to feel comfortable asking me any questions they might have, both personally and professionally, and really just try to get a good sense of things on your end, whether or not this is a good place for you. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So my first question is, just what motivates you to have a career with Miller Coors? We could all have any job we want, obviously with a little work, but what motivates you to actually want to get up in the morning and say, I work for Miller Coors?
Well, Brian, thank you. It's really nice to meet you. And I just want to say, first of all, that I would really like to work for Miller Coors because I'm really passionate about beer. And I think that it is one of my favorite things in the world. And I've heard that this is a great work environment. I know a couple of people who work for you, and I think that they're just really great people. I like their attitude. They seem to want to come to work every day and be motivated to stay engaged. And I really like that kind of atmosphere. I also like your casual approach, and I think that that would fit well with my personality. I like to be able to engage in conversations and ask questions when possible, and it's really necessary for me to have a good working relationship with my coworkers. And so I've heard this place has that, and I'd really like to get this position and come to work for Miller Coors. I think I can do a really great job.
Second question is, how would you describe the last 2 years of your life, and where do you see yourself going in the next 3? I want to just try to find out what goals you've accomplished in the last 2 years that you're proud of, maybe some things that you've worked really hard on, and where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years after that?
Well, Brian, that's a really great question, and I have to tell you, I've spent the last 2 years of my life working full-time, having children that need to get to and from activities, and also attending school. I started out part-time trying to complete a bachelor's degree, and ended up for the last 3 semesters doing school full-time as well as working full-time. And so the last 2 years of my life have been pretty busy, and it takes a lot to kind of coordinate all of those efforts at once. And so the last 2 years have really been dedicated to bettering myself at taking classes, getting a degree in multidisciplinary studies, and also obtaining a certificate in leadership and human relations and a certificate in conflict resolution. And so I would like to see myself in a position where I can work towards using those leadership certificates and dispute resolution certificates in a company with a lot of really good people. And moving forward, my goal in 3 to 5 years would be to be in a position of leadership and be able to use the skills that I've learned and the methods that I've studied for the last 2 years to help others become great leaders themselves and really equip them to lead from within their group or lead in a positional way in the future for them. So my passion is always people first, and I really like to help people grow and gain skills and knowledge and gain a little bit of feeling of self-worth and equip them to do what they want to do in their future, whatever that might be. So that's where I would like to be in the next 3 to 5 years.
Towards finding a solution. You can reach out to a supervisor, a coworker, or you can try to do as much research as you can and come up with a new process on your own.
Well, I think that it really depends on the situation, and it also depends on the task. I think that when other coworkers, when team members have really great knowledge base or they've been around longer than me, I may seek them out for information and maybe perspective from a company point of view. I do like to do research on my own. I've been doing a lot of that for the past 20 years, administering federal grants, and sometimes that takes a little time and effort digging into some background on your own to really get a place to even be able to ask questions of a coworker or a supervisor. So I like to, I guess, combine the things you mentioned, and it really depends on who else might have that perspective, or if it's a completely new task. And a completely new task, I'm much more likely to research all on my own and then maybe bounce some ideas off coworkers. I really like working in teams, and so I like having other people's perspective, and I really like to bring that kind of dynamic to a group. So I would probably, do a little bit of my own research, but also hope that coworkers or supervisors would be accessible to ask questions and maybe have a dialogue. I think that my mind opens a lot more when I have those conversations with other people, and so it usually brings about a much better solution than I can do all on my own. So I like to, I guess, combine those types of processes.
Fourth question: if I ask someone who you would say doesn't particularly like you to describe you, how would they do it? Would they have a laundry list of things, or would they just say, maybe this person was too dedicated to the job, or, if someone saw you in an unfavorable light, how would they describe you to a complete stranger?
Well, I think I don't want anybody to dislike me, but I'm sure there are people who do, and I think that people who have had issues with me in the past would maybe say that sometimes I come off as unapproachable or overly confident in certain abilities, and so that can be a little bit off-putting for people. I think that sometimes there have been people who also felt like I work too hard to find a middle ground and maybe don't take as hard of a stand as I should in some areas. There have been situations in which other coworkers have had conflicts, or management has had conflict with a team member and asked me to talk to them about it, and really felt like maybe I tried too hard to see both sides of the story and didn't really help anyone because I didn't really give them my firm opinion. But that said, I think it can also be a strength to be able to see both sides, and I think that it can be construed as a good characteristic. It just has not always worked for people who are a little more black and white in their perspective than I am.
And lastly, on a 12-hour wall clock, just a normal wall clock, how many times does a little hand cross over the big hand in a 24-hour period? A wall clock, how many times in a 24-hour period does the little hand cross over the big hand? That's all the questions I got.
Brian, I was really hoping you'd ask that question because I happen to know the answer. The little hand crosses the big hand 22 times in a 24-hour period on a standard wall clock. Thanks for this interview, and I really hope to hear back from you soon.